Okay, so when we mix our glazes, they are in 5-gallon buckets. And to mix up a glaze properly so that you have all of the ingredients mixed to the same consistency from the top of the bucket to the bottom of the bucket is to use a drill. If you've never used a drill before, this is where we keep our drill in this bucket of water. This is a plug-in. Here we have a cordless. The cordless does not function as well as the corded, but basically you will have a switch right here that changes the direction of the way that the drill spins. This is the trigger. You always want the drill spinning clockwise, otherwise you risk loosening it. If the bit is ever out of the drill, drills have little teeth that open and close around the bit. So here we have the bit, or the teeth are closed, and you turn the switch here so that you open up that drill. As you're trying to tighten the teeth around something, you have to hold it, and you have to hold this section of the drill while you slowly engage the trigger. And that is how you use the drill. If you use it at high speed in the glaze, you will end up with glaze all outside of the bucket and on the floor. So you have the ability to control by not depressing the trigger all the way. This is a decent speed to use. When you're done mixing a glaze, put it back in the bucket of water. So here I have a glaze. If I were to take one of these sticks, now this stick was not properly cleaned, which is a big bad no-no. Why we have the rinse bucket here is to make sure that you clean off your sticks and your drills before you stick them in another glaze. So if I were to take this and stick it in before mixing, when I pull it out, I will see that the bottom half, that the materials settle out, okay? So what the mixing does is it ensures that the glaze is thoroughly mixed up in the bucket before you glaze it. If the materials are not fully mixed up, they will not deposit on the piece, and you will not get the desired result. All of our test styles are based on a thorough mix and a quick application of pouring or dipping. My drill was all the way down at the bottom. That happens pretty frequently. Again, just get it back in there and tighten the drill. Mixing all the way down at the bottom. And pulling the drill up every once in a while. Right into that bucket. Clean off the shaft of the drill. Once you get a glaze mixed up, then you can use a stick to continue to keep all of those materials in suspension. And you can see now that it's the same color from where the stick is inserted all the way down to the bottom. That is how you know that you have properly mixed your glaze before you start using it. The actual glazing process is much quicker. Take a ladle. Get down close to the bucket. Pour your ladle into the bowl or the vessel. Switch it around a little bit. Hold it firmly by the foot and turn. Allow the excess to drip out And if you miss a spot, just slightly invert the bowl and splash some glaze up in there so that you cover that area. Those are Rob's pants swishing together.
Sorry.
So again, get an appropriate amount of liquid for the size, the volume of the bowl that you have. If I use this entire ladle, I might get too much glaze in there, and it might kind of ooze out or overflow. Again, get a good hold on that foot, turn and pour. And when you miss a spot, hold it slightly inverted and splash glaze up into it. Here you can see the latex is not drying. You can see that the glaze, when it dries, turns kind of a chalky color, and that where the latex is, it is not absorbing into the clay at all, and so it stays wet. Before you peel off the latex, you want to use a sponge and just dab off the majority of the glaze. You don't have to be precise, you don't have to go to the actual edge of that line or beyond it, but you do want to get most of that glaze off of there so that when you actually pull up the latex, you don't end up flicking glaze all over the place. Okay, and then to catch the latex, you kind of roll your finger on top and pull the latex off. And so I'll continue to do that for the others. I'll blow out the, the little bit of glaze that's kind of got stuck in the middle. And then I will wax over this glaze so that when I dip it in the next glaze, only this area turns that color. I might have a slight overlap so that the colors feather together, but I will not have a complete overlap, which might facilitate running because of the thickness of the glaze.